Ian O'Connor, author of Belichick. Why do you think so many assistants of Belichick's have not had success outside of New England or outside of his warm embrace? You've got Nick Saban, and obviously there's still some other names to be written, stories to be written potentially throughout the NFL. And Saban, you could even say, is an outlier because he's as great as Belichick.
Right.
So why do you think that is?
Well, remember, Rich, when Belichick coached Cleveland, and he admitted this, I believe, right before that first Super Bowl when they beat the Rams, he tried to be too much like Parcells, and he didn't have the charisma and personality to pull it off. Okay, that's why the Cleveland thing, one of the reasons why that failed. I think Mangini and McDaniels tried to be Belichick, and they didn't have the leadership qualities at that point in time to pull it off. They certainly didn't have the record, and I think they failed for that reason. It's hard because you need to be yourself, but on the other hand, you've learned from the greatest coach of all time, so how do you not take parts of that with you, right? So I just think finding that balance of being yourself and also, like, applying all the lessons you learned from Belichick, and I don't think those two people in particular accomplished that. I think McDaniels, unlike Mangini now, Mangini had 2 shots and failed. I think McDaniels will succeed the second time around, much like Belichick succeeded after failing to try to be like Parcells in Cleveland.
How about this? And I say this with the utmost of respect because I do think Belichick's the greatest of all time. That maybe having the greatest gift at quarterback helps too.
Oh, there's no question about that. But I will counter that by saying, and by the way, I went to the high school where Vince Lombardi coached in New Jersey, St. Cecilia's, and so I'm a big Lombardi guy.
Nice.
But you can't. I mean, if John Wooden didn't have Lou Alcindor and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, if Joe Torre didn't have Mariano and Jeter, you could say that about everybody.
Sure.
So,
right.
So the great ones need great players to prove their greatness. So, yes, you're right. But
I don't know.
I'm
telling you, man. That quote from that unnamed assistant, my jaw hit the floor. I'm like, you've got. And I understand you're talking about when it was said and the circumstances when it was said. But that's still, I mean, you could even have said in 2014 Brady had cemented status as the GOAT in that way too.
Well, but Rich, how about what Brady said to me on the phone last year? He said, now he didn't say it as strongly as the assistant said it, but he said similar things himself. That unless you just want to say that's 100% Brady humility, but I'll send you the quote. And I'll email it to you and take a look at it.
Great. You got it, Ian.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.